Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and much appreciated you guys coming by the channel for today's video. And today, guys, I want to talk about if there's one technique or one skill that you could master in 2025, what that would be, and it is square bill crankbait fishing, in terms that you probably aren't aware that this exists as far as these techniques go. So I want to talk today about some square bill crankbait techniques for pretty much from about May until November, and sort of go over sort of a month by month deal about how I like to fish these baits. And I think it's going to add some good fish for you guys, because square bill crankbaits have been around forever, and they're probably the most popular crankbait. But I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about the applications for square bill. So I'm going to sort of go over how I like to fish them and some things to look for. I think it's going to add up to some nice fish for you guys over the next few months there. Also, guys, a couple quick things. Just like to invite everybody, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do that by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat. Just shoot me a private message and get you all the info for that. And also, guys, like to invite everybody to please check out all the links I put in my video description of every video here. If you guys are wanting to support advanced bass fishing and give something back to the channel, just using and book and marking my tackle warehouse link for your tackle purchases, you know, all the other links I put in the description, that's what keeps the channel on here. So thank you very much for me and my family. If you guys are taking advantage of that, we really appreciate it. Okay, square bills, man, they have been around since the 70s. They've been around forever with the original Big O crankbait, which was basically a square bill. And we've seen a lot of evolution in square bills over the years. It went from the Big O, the hand carved Big O, to like Bagley started making them out of balsa wood, and the balsa wood was the primary component of the square bill crankbait up until probably about the mid 1990s, when they first started coming out with some plastic versions. And now there is a wide range of square bill crankbaits. You've got square bill crankbaits of different size, different profiles, tons of different colors, tons of different, you know, square bill lip sizes. So sometimes it can be pretty confusing to you know, figure one out. But I'm going to give you guys, to just save you a bunch of time and effort here, guys, to what to look for square bills. That Megabass S-Crank, guy, the Megabass S-Crank square bill is, in my opinion, the best square bill on the market. I had a hand in designing this with Edwin Evers about 10 years ago, and we spent a ton of time on this thing, and it is a fish-catching square bill. I'll put that link in my description of my video, the S-Crank leak, S-Crank leak if you want to get one. But if you look at square bills like on Tackle Warehouse, there's freaking hundreds of them, but this will save you a lot of time and effort if you just get those S-Cranks there. They come in 3 different sizes. They got a 1.2 size, a 1.5 size, and a 2.0 size, so covers all the different needs. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about when you want to fish them and what you want to look for with square bill crankbait fishing. Square bill crankbait fishing is when those bass are less than 5 foot deep. That's going to be the primary strength for it. It doesn't get down much deeper than that. It's not that effective, or it's not effective below 5 feet. It's a shallow water crankbait. And in my opinion, that 2 to 4 foot range is really the magic depth. When you have cover in 2 to 4 foot of water is when a square bill crankbait really shines. Now, the thing about a square bill is you can catch fish around about any type of structure with it. To me, I fish it most all the time around rock or wood, cranking whatever visible, you know, wood cover is there, cranking whatever visible rock cover is there. We'll talk a little bit about that, more details in a second. Sometimes I've caught a few fish over shallow grass with it, but not that much. It's a rock and wood deal for the most part, and also it is a stained water technique. The square bill crankbait bite is going to always be best if you have water visibility of under 2 feet. And ideally, my perfect square bill crankbait depth is about 1 foot. If you've got 1 foot of visibility, that is the water visibility that positions those fish in the zone to be caught with a square bill crankbait. Works really good with it. Okay, now let's talk about some of my favorite ways to fish it. Let's talk about rock. Now, when I'm talking about fishing a square bill hill, I'm talking about fishing it between, you know, say March, springtime of the year, into the late fall. It's going to work all that good for it. For the most part, when you're dealing with water temperatures under 70 degrees, specifically under about 75 degrees, rock is always going to be your better target. So I fish whatever rock's available. It didn't matter if it's riprap, bluff banks, rocky channel banks, flat rock banks, anything with that. And one of the key elements to being successful with a square bill is to fish those rocky banks parallel. Because if you parallel a rocky bank with a square bill, you stay in the strike zone the majority of the cast. Don't ever like cast a square bill at a 45-degree angle to the bank, because you're out of the strike zone a lot with doing that. Target, again, that 2 to 4 foot depth with a parallel cast down those rocky banks, and always try to deflect off something. The strike attracting quality of a square bill crankbait lies in its deflection properties. And the deflection properties is when that bait hits an object, it fights its way back to the middle, and then it deflects off and fights its way back to the middle again. And if you're just reeling it through the water column and not hitting anything, you're not going to catch very many fish on it. So that is why you have to parallel in the zone that the crankbait runs. Now, square bill crankbaits, depending upon the one you're using, they all run about the same depth. Like on the Megabass series, they're all going to run between, say, like 4 to 5 foot deep on a long cast, maybe a little bit deeper on a lighter line. And I throw them on a lot of different line tests, guys. I'll throw a square bill crankbait like that little Megabass S crank, the 1.2. I put it on 8-pound test line with a spinning rod a lot of times, and I can get that thing down a lot deeper. But whatever, I try to use the heaviest line that I can and still hit the bottom. That's the best advice I can give you. Whatever structure you're fishing, try to go with your heaviest line where you're still making bottom contact with that. Now, the wood factor, when I'm fishing wood with it, is usually in the warmer weather months. I like a square bill crankbait around shallow wood when that water temperature is over 70 or 75 degrees. It is probably the best shallow water wood lure that you can throw in the summertime of the year. It's like when you talk about ways to fish lay down trees or stumps or logs in the water, there's a lot of different ways you can approach it: flipping, pitching, spinnerbait and chatterbait, whatever. But as far as triggering a bass to strike, I don't think there's anything that can match a square bill. One of the things that you want to remember when you're cranking wood with a square bill in the summertime of the year is you've got to make multiple casts to the cover, and you've got to come at the cover from a lot of different angles. That is the key, because a lot of times in that shallow water in the summertime, those fish are lethargic in that shallow water, and you have to trigger those fish through, a fast stop and go retrieve, or different angles, or multiple casts. So if you come up to, say, a nice lay down tree in the water, don't hesitate to make like 20 casts around the thing. Make casts around the edges, try to get inside of it, try to come down different angles, get your boat in different positions. And I almost won the Bassmaster Classic, guys, at the High Rock Lake in 1998 when Denny Breyer won it. I finished third in that classic, and I was cranking that shallow wood. And in order to get the bite, and it was a summertime tournament, exactly what I talked about. There would be a lay down log in the water. I'd make 30 or 40 casts from different angles around that lay down log before I actually triggered a strike from a lot of the bass that I weighed in that tournament. Colors have a pretty big impact on it. You wouldn't think they would in that stained water, but one of the things I found out about a square bill, bass can be really color sensitive to that. And there's 3 primary colors that I use that are available with Megabass and that S crank. One is some type of a chartreuse side, either chartreuse blueback, chartreuse blackback in the really dirty water, like if that water visibility is under 12 inches. And then I go to some type of a shad pattern on brighter days with not much wind, if that water visibility is say a foot to 2 foot deep. And also when that water visibility is a foot to 2 foot deep, I really like a perch pattern. A perch pattern square bill is highly effective during the hottest water temperature in the middle of the summer. And so I usually rotate it between the 3. I'll have a brighter one, I'll have a shad pattern, and a perch pattern. And if I'm on a good square bill bite, I'll have all 3 on the deck, and I'll just rotate throughout the day to see which ones they bite better, because they bite different colors better based upon, cloud cover, time of the day, the wind, just water clarity, different variables like that. So anyway, guys, and another thing with a square bill, I'll give you one other tip, guys. You're going to catch more fish on a square bill crankbait with a medium fast stop and go retrieve. When I'm fishing a square bill, I'm never just reeling it in. I'm always stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, fairly fast. And I want to try to trigger that reaction strike. Not like burning it super fast, but I call it a fast medium retrieve, bouncing off an object. Those are the two elements, guys. Bounce it off something, a medium fast stop and go retrieve, and that's what triggers a lot of those fish with it. So anyway, hope it helps you guys out. Again, I'll put that Tackle Warehouse link in the description to the S crank. Get that one, guys. They got one in there. It's got like a translucent chartreuse side with a blue back and a perch pattern. I've caught so many on those two colors there. So hope it helps you guys out. We'll talk later.